Yep, started. Look at the mist floating across the camera
Ooh, that's a
from
nice
my
effect.
from my coffee, from my tea,
Mm.
my hot tea. We can do whatever we want when no one's watching.
It's because we do what we normally anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. We do what we want when someone's watching.
Yeah.
So hey, now that someone's watching, hey, it's Tuesday, 11:15. Tuesday Q&A. We do this each and every week. Rain, sleet, snow, or hail. Talk about Sunday's message, which I don't know that we're going to do much of that because no one asked a question. Talk about other things that are coming up, other things that are happening in the life of WestWay Christian Church.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those things that is happening in the life of WestWay Christian Church is this past Sunday night, we had the second annual Westies,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where our church body nominates people for being amazing servants here at Westway Christian Church.
Yes.
And then we do the hard work of weeding through those and picking names.
I was going to say the picking is the hard part, not necessarily the weeding. So
The picking is the hard part because, because everyone who receives a nomination is someone that's serving, and it's not let's say it's not a popularity contest. So I know Dustin, when he was talking on Sunday night, said that Nathan Holloway had been nominated. I think there are 4 or 5 nominations of him. So it's not it's not the most wins or anything like that. But it's really who's a good example, who embodies that. There's a little effort to be intergenerational.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to pick people from different demographics and stuff like that. We want to make sure that people feel like everybody's represented. So this week we talked about that on Sunday night, and on our Facebook page you'll see 4 pictures because one of the couples that won or that received, I don't know that did they win? Receive
We're
an award.
awarded.
We're awarded. One of the groups of people that received the award were not here on Sunday night, but in no certain order. Austin and Michaela Peterson received a Westie. Lois Bridges received a Westie. James Richards received a Westie. Rory and Brenda Smith received a Westie. And then Nathan Holloway received a Westie this week, or this particular year. I think we have 21 people, groups, and or couples receive a nomination.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of made the decision that we're going to do 5 each year, and next year I hope we have more.
Mm-hmm.
Hope we have more people nominated. We had a great time at our Thanksgiving feast. If you missed it,
I don't think too many people missed it.
I don't think too many people missed it. I know we were set for like 268 people in the gym. Not all of those tables were filled, but room 107 was used for those that served, and that room was pretty close to being full.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably had around that 270 number
Yep.
of people come, and I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We try to sit with people that we don't normally hang out with here at WestWay. So that was fun. I got to sit with the Barretts, and then they were there, or John Walker, his wife Terry, and their daughter Jade was out of town, but I got to sit with them and the Barretts, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're next door neighbors, Gabby and Joel are next door neighbors.
Right, yeah.
We don't know them very well, but they've also started coming to our small group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really neat to kind of like you see people here and you have no idea who they are or what they're about.
Right.
So these are neat ways to make connections.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we do them, and we really recommend that you come and participate in those things.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you guys sit with?
We were sitting with Brian Andrews and
Good.
their 3 children. Laurel was actually serving in the nursery
Mm-hmm.
For the evening, so we didn't get to sit with her. And then we sat with John the Third
Oh, yeah,
and Chloe.
Chloe. Okay, so that's is up there.
So got to know them a little bit more. And yeah,
Was there anything you knew you learned?
we learned a lot about food preferences.
Mm.
We talked a lot about food preferences and different things that were coming to the table. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Did you have anything that was like dramatically like was there something that was served at your table that was like dramatically different than kind of outside the norm?
no, I don't think so.
Mm.
We had some broccoli, vinegar, raisin,
Mm-hmm.
sunflower seed salad, but my mom makes that a lot of
Okay.
one of the holidays, so it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty accustomed for us anyway.
Mm-hmm. One of the other tables had their salad was we thought it was cranberries, but it was some kind of cranberry salad.
Mm.
But it was like a cherry pie filling, all kinds of stuff, and it was really tart. So we made the assumption that it was cranberries,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw the person who had made that carrying their pan out. So I asked them, it was Sharon Dental.
Mm.
And I said, Sharon, what was in that? So it was cherry pie filling and a few other things. There was no cranberries, and it was crushed pineapple
Mm.
that was in it. So we decided that we were going to get that.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to get that recipe because it was pretty tasty. So yeah, so that was that was Sunday night. Since we're talking about upcoming events, we'll just
Are we?
we are well. Since we're talking about events, we're talking about opportunities to get together, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. There.
So, so we have a few things coming up that we just want to let you know about. This coming Sunday, there's a hospitality team train
Mm-hmm.
from 12:15 to 1.
So, John,
Yes,
who all is included in a hospitality
who
team?
all is
training?
included in that? That's a great question.
Who should show up first?
That's a great question. That's a really good question.
Thanks.
First, the real answer is we are all on the hospitality team at once, right? Is that where you were going with this? Sort of.
Not necessarily, but
Okay. Well, so first
I
up,
don't disagree.
yeah. So the real answer to that question, or a real answer to that question, is everyone here at WestWay Christian Church is on the hospitality team.
Okay.
That's all of our roles. However, specifically, if you serve on the greeting team,
Mm-hmm.
so whether that's at the front doors, handing out bulletins inside, welcome center,
Mm-hmm.
I would say anyone coffee area.
Mm-hmm.
So if you serve in our coffee area, if you serve on our next steps team, from a I guess from a formalized piece, that's who I would say that this team train is for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and part of what we've done is we've got some we bought some resources specifically for this that we're going to hand out. So that's where it starts to push maybe against your question a little bit. So like if we have our whole church show up for that, that'd be awesome. But we did not get a resource for everyone in our whole church. We got about 50 books.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that's about the size of those people on those formalized teams.
Okay.
And we're going to meet from 12:15 to 1. We found that trying to start things at noon is an impossibility. Even when we get out earlier, even when we finish our 10:15 time, even when we're done a little earlier than 11:45, we've still just found it really difficult to start something right at 12. So we're going to go from 12:15 to noon, or 12:15 to 1. Really just going to talk about three main things. Thanks for serving this year. talking about just the number of people that we've seen come into WestWay over the last year, and how that team is so crucially important to what it is that's happening. And we consistently hear from people that they've been welcomed and they felt welcome and they were greeted, and like all of those things have really worked well for us. We've consistently heard that. So we want to talk a little bit about that. We want to talk about some challenges that we're having, honestly. So with doing a really good job, we are having some challenges right now.
Yeah.
Specifically, like in terms of like what. So that's great that we have greeting team until 10:30, but what happens kind of after 10:30?
Yep.
So if I'm someone that's walking into the building, I'm late because I know this was true for us when our children were younger. As much as we set out clothes the night before and did all that stuff, there was always that one kid that like his or her shoes were in one spot on Saturday night, and then
Magically moved somehow.
so we run late. So what happens, like what's the experience of the person that comes later, and kind of what can we do about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas coming up, the holiday season, specifically, and this is on December 24th on Christmas Eve, for the 6:15. Like what do we need to do to make sure we're ready for Christmas Eve? So those are three real things, the three main things we're going to talk about. Just thanking all of those that serve. If you are not currently serving at WestWay, so Shane's over there nodding voraciously. This is a great connecting point. This is a great opportunity to jump into this team. And learn a little bit more about serving on the greeting side, on the hospitality side, whether that's greeting, coffee, or next steps.
Yeah. And that's the same for like anytime you see a team train happening. That's not just for the people that are involved in it already. That is for if you're interested or you just want to check it out. That's for you as well. So don't be afraid to come.
Yeah, that's something that as we think about 2020, that's something that we're probably going to be talking. I don't want to say a little bit more about but we are going to be talking more about why do we do team trains here at WestWay Christian Church, and I think we have painted the picture that it is for people that are already on the team, and sort of for new people, but we haven't talked about that a lot. So that's something that we're going to be shifting our focus on a little bit more on the team train piece is welcoming new people, because we have a lot of new people, and I can't tell you how many times over the last 3 months, because I've talked with a lot of the people that are new. I can't tell you how many times over the last 3 months they've asked me the question, how can I get involved and how can I serve? So the team train piece is really an integral part of that. So if you are currently serving in any hospitality way here at WestWay Christian Church, if you'd like to serve in that entry point of service, this team train is for you. So we've got 50 books, and when we're out of 50, then we're out. But we would love for you to come and be a part of that. And that is not just a serving opportunity, it's a way to build relationships. We've talked about this over the past few Sundays. My wife said that she got to serve, she served tables on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And her table partner was Amber Andrews. And she said, I think I probably exchanged 10 words with Amber in the 2.5 years that we've been here. And we didn't talk about anything like it wasn't a discipleship or of, critical importance. It was just an opportunity to have a conversation with someone that we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of serving here. We talked about that. Building relationships builds unity. Building relationships builds maturity. And it makes people feel like what they're doing is valuable and important. And I even loved seeing some people who had not even, there were a few people who haven't even been here like a month, and they were serving
Yeah.
on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And that was really awesome. That was really exciting to see. So that's an example of something that's really great that's taking place, and if we're not paying attention to that, I think we miss it. So then also on Sunday evening here at WestWay, Christian billionaire Kanye West. What is
Genius.
it? Christian billionaire genius Kanye West.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sunday night here at WestWay, probably in the old sanctuary, the youth room, the amp, whatever we like. Amp never really stuck. As much as I really wanted that to stick, it never really happened.
It's out there.
Yeah.
It's around. Anyway, Sunday.
Sunday night.
Sunday in the amp.
Sunday in the amp. From 6:30 to 8, we're just gonna be listening to Kanye West's latest album called "Jesus Is King." It is 27 minutes long. I have created a document with all of the lyrics on it, and basically we're gonna listen and we're gonna talk and just have some conversation around some things that our culture's into, that our culture's doing. Probably not going to spend a lot of time in conversation on, like, is Kanye West really a Christian or is he not a Christian? Like, I think, like, that's a fun conversation for me for about 3.5 minutes.
Right.
Because our job as Christians is not to determine whether or not someone is or isn't. Our role is to live out our giftedness, and we can certainly look at people's fruit and all those kind of things. But we have someone that is influential in our culture, who has claimed conversion to Christianity, and has created art that is reflective of that conversion. And I know I've listened to the album over the past few weeks, probably 10 times. Took a little break over the last week. It's interesting. I took a little break because it was in my head, and so maybe this is going to be a nice tie-in to some text from this Sunday, and then we're going to come back to this. But I was having a lot of that lyrical content like in my head. I was waking up, and that's what was on my mind. Which is interesting in light of what we talked about this past Sunday from Ephesians chapter 5 toward verse 18. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't read. Verse 18, don't be drunk with wine, because that will ruin your life. Instead, be filled with the Holy Spirit, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs among yourselves, and making music to the Lord in your hearts. So when I was really consistently listening to it, like I'd wake up I would go to bed at night with that lyrical content in my head, and then I would wake up and that was the first thing on my mind. And it's kind of interesting because that's consistent with this text. Like, what am I filling my mind with? And I think that's, I don't want to say probably, that's part of this conversation on Sunday night that we're going to have. Not really sure how that's going to shake out yet. I'm really going into this planned and unscripted kind of a thing. But like, what am I filling my mind with? How many times do I listen to other things or watch other things, and that's what my mind is filled with?
Yeah.
So is it wrong to wake up and have? I guess it depends on the Kanye West lyric. Is it wrong to wake up and have Kanye West on my mind? Probably depends on what he's saying, what song is being sung.
Right.
So I think this, for me, like, this is a real opportunity to, like, let's engage culture on its own terms. We might have talked about this in our small group last week, but somebody, I don't remember where I was, somebody said, well, he's married to Kim Kardashian, and that that Kardashian family has they have a tremendous influencer on American culture. So whether she's converted or not, it's kind of I think it's a weird space. One of the things I'm doing a lot of talking, Shane.
It's good.
Okay, it's not good. It doesn't mean it's good. I think one of the things that's like interesting is, I know there are some people that when they claim conversion, it seems like Christians flock around that person. And maybe that's a little bit of what's happening with Kanye West. But sometimes I think people flock around people who have conversion stories or conversion experiences because it's like an affirmation of their Christianity. Like I don't feel so weird because Kanye West is a Christian too.
Right. Sure.
Or I don't feel so weird because Justin Bieber is a Christian too, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to say that I'm not out for that affirmation. Like that's not why we're doing this, like to affirm the reality of Christianity, because I don't know that it needs that. I know it doesn't, in fact.
Right. Yeah.
There is no I don't know. Christianity doesn't need the affirmation of Kanye West. And at the same time, I mean, these are people who are extremely influential in our culture.
Right.
And if this is a legitimate conversion, like that can be a very powerful and very real thing for our culture to see and experience, of what it means to be a Christian. Because I certainly know that our culture has what it means to be a Christian, really backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. They've seen some really weird examples of it.
Yeah.
Some really bad examples lived out.
Right.
And some really good examples, but
Yeah. And I would say also, I mean, maybe doing something like this is kind of like a part one of some other things that we might do. Like I love the movie Groundhog Day. And I think I might have talked about this last week, so sorry, repeat. I love the movie Groundhog
it's
Day.
like a movie.
It is. It's crazy. And I think there are so many things going on in that movie that are worthy of conversation as just as a culture and especially as Christians. I think a lot about Paul when he's in Athens in Acts chapter 17, and how he's having this conversation with all of these people, and he said he says something to the effect of, "As your own poets have said." So he's not like breaking out the Bible and saying, "Hey, you can't see what I'm doing, so I'll do this so you can." Paul doesn't say this is what the Bible says. He says your own poets are saying these things that are true. And I think like with this Kanye West thing, like this is an opportunity to say, in a conversation maybe with non-Christians, well, as Kanye West says, this, like that seems really, really kind of weird to our ears.
Right.
But that's what Paul's doing. So I would love to be able to have I've been thinking about this like an Acts 17 ministry, or this is an Acts, so Kanye West, Jesus is King. This is an Acts 17 event, or a Mars Hill event, or like an Areopagus, like something like that, and kind of frame it with the opportunity to we're going to talk about culture on its own terms and how culture fits into Christianity, not the other way. How Christianity fits into culture.
Right.
But what are these things saying about faith? What do they say about life? What does it say about culture? So that's kind of like my, if I had a dream coming out of this, it would be like this ongoing thing where periodically we would show the movie Groundhog Day and then actually talk about the spiritual truths that are in it.
Yeah.
because those things are embedded. I mean, our stories are filled with truth, and sometimes it's an unpleasant truth. Like, you can watch some movies and see that the wickedness of man is on full display,
Yeah.
and I mean that proclaims a truth.
Yep.
So that's this Sunday. So whether you are a Kanye West fan or not, I would encourage you to come and be a part of that. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. That's the kind of stuff I did when I was in student ministry, and I hope we have some people come. And if anything, we'll just listen to Kanye West and talk about Chick-fil-A. Have you? I know. Have you listened to it? Have you
Yes.
listened to them? Thoughts?
For me, I'm a big musical guy, and so that's what I'm mainly attracted to. So for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
but it's all right. It's a good listen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not something that I keep going back to and keep am drawn to
Mm-hmm.
musically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more excited about the new Coldplay stuff that's coming out. But so there you go.
So what? Yeah, now we're just completely off the rails. So it like have you? I have not heard any of it. I haven't heard anything like of the new Coldplay.
Yeah.
So what if I were to listen to it? What would I hear? Like, tell me what era of Coldplay I'm going to hear.
It's kind of new. It's kind of evolved a little bit.
Okay.
So there's maybe some Viva La Vida in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I really stopped listening to Coldplay a while ago.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like it was really, I don't know, it got kind of dull for me.
Well, the two releases that they've had that I listened to were
Like, is it high energy musically?
it's energy, yeah,
Okay, I'll have to listen.
yeah, and it's a lot of syncopation stuff and a lot of little musical lines running through and around. And
Okay. I think I really stopped listening. Is it Milo? However you say that last word that begins with an X. XYLO.
oh yeah, yeah,
Like that's really, and I feel like that was almost a perfect album.
mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like they made an effort to pay attention to every single thing that took place on that and make it like musically perfect, candy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like,
ear candy, yeah.
it's I really feel like that album was a lot of ear candy, and perfectly. I feel like it was perfectly orchestrated. It's a good album to run to, actually. Anyway, so back to you. Couple things. So we are finishing up our Wife of Christ series part 1. That's an important caveat. We're finishing that up over the next 2 weeks. We'll circle back to that in 1 second. In December, we are going to be getting ready for Christmas by talking about Advent. Advent's probably a tradition that many people are not familiar with in our church movement.
In the independent restoration churches, yeah,
Yep.
not too much.
Not a lot of familiarity, but if you have a background like I do in Presbyterian church or a lot of mainline denominations, Catholicism, there are lots of threads of Advent there. So we're going to be talking about what it looks like to get ready for Jesus on December 24th, which is at 6:15. So our Christmas Eve service, like it was last year, we're going to have at 6:15. And then also on the 22nd of December, Hochoku is back. Hot chocolate, cookies,
Yeah.
all kinds of fun. We'll have more information about that over the next few weeks. So we have some fun things planned for December, like we did last year, and it'll be a good time. So yeah, we're finishing out.
Coming quick.
Coming quick. It is coming quick.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of weeks left. If you have the big Ephesians study guide, you'll know that we are a week off We took a little detour when we talked about elders a few weeks ago. So this Ephesians series, this part of the Ephesians series, Church at Ephesus, ends on the 24th. This week we are talking about Ephesians 5:21 through chapter 6, verse 9, talking about husbands and wives, children and parents, slaves and masters. I'm pretty sure that we are going to talk about this in a way that you may have never heard before, and I'm kind of excited about that. We did a little teaser this week, like when we hear things from Scripture that we disagree with. A good practice would be, so why do we disagree with it? Why do we feel that way? I think these particular texts, especially the husbands and wives and the slaves and masters piece, really pushes a lot of buttons for us in 2019. We don't find, we find Paul telling wives to submit to their husbands, and that pushes 2019 buttons. So why do we feel that way? In chapter 6, we do not find Paul condemning slavery, which is 2019. That is really problematic. There are a lot of people. I've had interactions with people myself about reading a text like this and really being bothered by the fact that Paul does not condemn slavery. So what is he doing? Why is he approaching slavery in the way that he is? Why is he talking about husbands and wives in this way? So there's really a lot of things going on here. So we are going to talk about the importance of marriage. We're going to talk about the importance of and the role of children and parents and slaves and masters, but we're probably going to do it in a different way. So I would encourage you, like if you're reading these texts and you're bothered that Paul would tell wives to submit to your husbands, this might be a good Sunday to come, because we're going to talk a lot actually about why Paul talks about that. So I would encourage you to do that, and then we'll be in Advent, like we said, for December. What else you got?
That's it for what I got.
Okay, cool. I don't think we have anything else. We are going to have the Westies display. I'm going to turn this, give everyone vertigo. It's right there. There it is. Hey, Westies display. We're going to have that in our lobby for probably a few weeks. Encourage you to take a look at that. When you see people's names on there, give them 5, do all those things. Congratulate them. And then next year, just all year long, be looking for people who are serving. And I would say, I almost did something that I didn't want to do. Don't save it till next year. If you see someone who's serving in a way that embodies Jesus's serve, you can thank them. You can show them appreciation in that. You don't have to wait until November to do that. Yep. We encourage you to thank people for the way that they serve. So that's a good thing to do.
Yes.
I don't know that I have anything else. I could talk about 40 million other things that are not about WestWay, but that's all we got.
That's all we got.
Okay. So thanks for watching. Come and participate this Sunday in the things that we have. Hospitality team train right after the 10:15, 12:15 to 1, and then Kanye West Jesus is King listening party from 6:30 to 8. We'll turn the bass up in the amp and make sure that it is appropriately volumed. So please come and participate in those things. It'll be a great time to just have fun together as a church body, and we will see you on Sunday, if not before.
Yes.
So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.